So as of 2 weeks ago, I am currently now a father of 3. Yeah, I know, I don't look it, I'm very young. No, I'm not. I'm 35 years old. I'm probably at the right age to have 3 children now. But anyway, I decided to shoot it on film. Now, why would I decide to shoot something so important on a film camera when we live in a digital age and you can pretty much get the most perfect photo by using a digital camera, any digital camera? I think it's just I wanted that nostalgic feel. And you know what? It was the best decision that I ever made. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Kurt Tilse, also known as KJ Tilse. I am a professional commercial photographer and film director. And I also run the production company House of Groms, which is this YouTube channel that you're on. And a little while ago, I went on this family holiday to Fiji and I shot a heap of amazing vacation photos with my family. And when I posted that, I was raving about a particular camera that I had just purchased just for that trip and trips going into the future. And I didn't mention to my audience over on Instagram what that camera was. So this is probably a year late, but I'm making that YouTube video right now. This is the camera, this is it. This is the Xe4 by Fujifilm. Now this camera, it really inspired me to love photography again. Now for a very long time, I've been going through the paces of being a commercial photographer and a film director and just doing the work and sort of forgot about why I started it in the first place. Now I set this camera up to be virtually a street photography style camera. Now most street photographers will use a 28mm lens. I decided to put an equivalent lens on this camera. Now this camera is a crop censored body, so an 18mm lens on a full frame camera is essentially 28mm. So I went for an 18mm lens on this, that's f2, so you can still let a lot of light in through the lens. And the best part about this camera, not only is it small and compact and it can fit in my bum bag and I can literally bring it with me everywhere, the best thing about it is it has something called film recipes in it. So basically you can create these film emulations within the camera and the camera will embed them into the JPEGs. I shoot this primarily for the JPEGs, which you may think is crazy, but I shoot JPEGs and RAWs at the same time, just in case I ever capture a photo that I need to retouch or edit in any particular way, I've got it. But I end up only using the JPEGs. And the reason for that is because I wanted a camera when I was traveling or going on adventures or behind the scenes of any of our shoots that can just be easy and it doesn't bog me down. It doesn't make me have to like go and put all this extra work into like editing after the fact. And this camera is exactly that. It has that filmic, nostalgic look to it that I like to recreate with my digital images anyway, while also it saves me a lot of time. Now, I have this body, the Xe4, and I also have an X-T4, which have the same sensor, they're just different camera bodies and a little bit different looking camera. And I use these for any events that we shoot now. So I'll shoot exclusively JPEGs in events and I'll have the color grades embedded into those JPEGs and I can just on the fly just smash out photos and capture them the way that I want them to be captured for that particular look of film or film recipe. So this camera is the infamous camera that I've been talking about on Instagram, if you were wondering, the Xe4 by Fujifilm. It's funny enough that I bought this camera and then I pretty much transferred my whole entire photography kit to Fujifilm after this. So I now shoot on the GFX 100S, which is a medium format camera that they supply, and that is now my commercial camera. So Fujifilm, you did a great job making this camera. I hate you for making me buy your entire kit. Thanks for that. Okay, so now let's get into the actual cameras that I wanted to talk about today. Now, I shot the birth of my child Harlow entirely on film because I wanted that look, that nostalgic look. And usually the type of film stock that I'll gravitate towards is a Portra 400, but in this case, I went for something a little bit different. Now, I hadn't shot on this film before, I'd seen heaps about it. I've been wanting to try it and I don't know why I decided to just like take the risk on number one, shooting film for such an important moment in my life. And number two, why I decided to choose a film stock that I have never shot with before and had no previous experience with, but I did, and they turned out amazing. Now, I thought it would just be a great idea to have this camera, which is a Canon A1. It's a pretty iconic camera. Like everyone's sort of seen it, knows about it. I'm sure most of your parents or grandparents might have owned this at the time. The reason why I picked up a Canon A1 and not anything else is just because I like the built-in light meter within the camera. It shows you what your shutter speed is and what your aperture needs to be, or depending on what mode you're in. You have the ability to be in TV, which is shutter priority, or AV, which is aperture priority. And yeah, I just like the light meter works in it. It's a little digital thing at the bottom of the screen there, so it's really easy to read and understand. The film stock that I used was CineStill 400D. So I had this camera sit on my kitchen bench for 2 weeks, as well as this other camera, which I'll get into in a second. They were both sitting on the kitchen bench for 2 weeks in the lead up to the birth and I guess the final moments after he'd been born. And I just picked up and took the camera with me whenever I felt like there was just a fun family moment happening. Now, it could have been, me and the boys going to the monster trucks prior to the birth happening, or it could have been those beautiful moments in the lead up to the birth. When I got these images back, I almost teared up. Like, I honestly showed my wife, Sarah, and I said to her, I've never felt so emotional about some images my whole entire life. Now, I don't get that with this camera here, this XE4 digital camera, because I know I can rapid fire with this camera and get a perfect moment, and I get that instant gratification when I look at the back of the screen. I go, oh, that's great, that's great. I literally started welting up a bit. I was like, I'm feeling very emotional about some pictures when I do this literally every single day. So there's something super special about shooting film that you just don't get with a digital camera. And I'm so glad that I decided to shoot some film. Now, the final camera that I used was, now I don't want you to think that you need to get one of these, because you don't. I'm gonna explain myself in a second. But I own a Mamiya RB67. This is a beautiful medium format film camera. I absolutely adore the images that I'm able to capture with this when I usually shoot it with some 120 film. There you go, I've got some Portra in the back at the moment. Good old Portra 400, photographer's best friend, says myself. Anyway, very big, kind of an expensive camera. The Canon A1, I think I picked this up for a bargain for around $250 or so. So that's another thing, like, I had a great time shooting on this and it didn't cost a bucket load of cash. That camera, on the other hand, the medium format, a little bit more expensive. But I had this special film stock, which I think you've seen on this channel before. I've tried to shoot with it once or twice before. It's a Fujifilm peel apart film. It's called FP100B. The B stands for black and white. I've also tried to shoot it in color. It's an expired film now. It went out of date back in 2018, I think. It's kind of really expensive to get your hands on. For a pack of 10, I think I paid about $100. I think I paid about $100. So each one of these films that I have in my hand right now is $10, but worth every cent. Worth every cent, absolutely worth every cent. You do need a camera like that or a 4x5 camera to shoot these on. This particular camera comes with a Polaroid film back. Now, this is it's a very simple contraption that just plugs onto the back of the camera. And the film literally just slots into here, goes in that slip just there. You close it up, the tabs are hanging out the front. You take your dark slide out and then you start shooting. And every time you shoot a photo, you pull the little tab, then you wait for 90 seconds and then you peel the film apart and you get this instant Polaroid style film. Now it's called peel apart film because you peel it apart and it leaves you with this beautiful, it's like a print image instantly though. Like, it's so much nicer than Polaroid. And if Polaroid is able to make a comeback, Fujifilm, please bring this back out again. The black and white, if you're to ever purchase this film stock yourself and shoot with this, go the black and white, because so far I've had no problem with any black and white film that I've got. For some reason, I don't know why, but I've used 2 different color films on this now, and both times they just haven't turned out. They've either had like horrible light leaks, or the images just didn't work quite right, or yeah, they just didn't work. So I don't know if it's because the chemicals aren't reacting right for the color film and the black and white's a bit easier to process. I'm not sure, it's expired film, so it's a bit tricky. All right, so before I wrap up this video, I just want to give you a quick life update and I guess the future of this channel. Now, I haven't been very consistent on YouTube. I'm trying to keep consistency, but I'm just so busy within the production company, House of Groms. And I've been so bogged down on doing the work there that I haven't had the opportunity to make more YouTube videos. And I really love doing this. So my future plan is to get more consistent with YouTube. I have a few different projects I'm going to be working on. Number one, I want to show you guys and bring you on the journey of House of Groms, the production company, show you more behind the scenes, maybe even show you more of the day-to-day operations of what we get up to. Now, the next part is I'm going to be starting my first ever passion project, which is going to be an art collection. Now, I've been doing photography, like I said, for a very long time now, and I've never, except for in the beginning, I haven't done a personal project just for myself. It's always been because a client has, commissioned me to do something, or it's a commercial project. So this is gonna be the first time I do something like this. I guess what I'm trying to say to you is that I'm really excited about YouTube at the moment. I'm passionate and fired up. I wanna make lots of videos. So if you wanna come on this journey with me, please subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with what's going on. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future. It's gonna be good. Anyway, thanks for watching this, guys. I hope you gained something from it, honestly.